I should make that police Cushman right there the official mascot of my channel. I have to admit, there was a Cushman ice cream mobile. I mean, it just looks just like that, except the back of it's set up to sell ice cream. And it's tempting. The guy wanted $3,500 for it, which isn't free, but it runs and is registered, had all the proper paperwork and all that. So, you know, it's probably worth the $3,500. And it's an ice cream vehicle, so one could actually, you know, take it places and sell ice cream out the back. And you just stop and think about it for a minute, and you say, I could buy those ice cream novelties at Sam's Club, BJ's, you know, whatever wholesaler is, Costco's, whatever wholesaler is near you. And typically you buy the drumsticks and the ice cream sandwiches and all that crap. And you're normally buying them for about $0.25 a piece. So if you're hustling them out for $1 a piece, right, making 75 cents, for every 100 you sell, there's $75 in your pocket. So if you go someplace and you sell 300 just for a number, that's $2.25. You put $25 worth of gas in the vehicle, and you made a quick $200 bill, and your investment wasn't huge, right? Wasn't big at all. So I don't know, just with retirement and all coming, I was looking at it and thinking to myself, boy, I should buy it and become an ice cream vendor, right? My next job being the ice cream salesman, or Harvey the ice cream salesman, right? Or John the ice cream salesman. There you go. I forgot the name on the truck. I think it might have been John, actually. So anyway, quick timestamp. Yeah, it's about, what is that, 20 to 5. Still the 24th, Saturday. Still 19 and change degrees Celsius. Still 67. So, Christmas at the Hoard. What did I buy? There are certain things I keep my eyes open for, because when you have this many bikes, there are certain things you kind of always need. Especially like when you look at the plastic is kind of destroyed, or this bike came without a recoil starter. This one came without a front fender. So given these things, I always have in my mind, hey, I need a front fender for the 250 or the 200 ES. So I watch for that. I need a recoil starter for the 200 ES. So I watch for that. Junk like that. And some of these items go for a certain price, and it's very hard to get them any cheaper. Recoil starter, that's, you know, the case is in that nice a condition, right? If the rope wasn't a little screwed up, right, basically what it needs is a new rope, right? The springs in there and all, and everything's in here. It's just you know, I got to replace the rope. These typically go for between, you know, 75 and 150. If the guy had bothered to change the rope, given the condition this is in, this probably would have been over $100 piece. I picked it up for under 50. So, you know, it's just, I kind of keep an eye out for this stuff. An eBay deal, obviously. It's got the, you know, the right Honda, you know, handle. Once again, it's really a nice shape. Just look at it; it's really very good. So, and obviously, I need it for this guy. So there's that. I also mentioned I keep an eye out for fenders. This is the 200 Monster, and I found on eBay, I think it was, well, I did too good a job putting it there. This is a 200S fender, so it doesn't quite fit. The spacing between here, the bolts, you can see where they would go in there, and there is not proper. It's too wide. The 200M's too wide. The fender's too narrow. So once again, typically fenders in this kind of condition, you know, they're normally 75 to 100. This was a $35 fender. You can see I got a little sun damage there, and there's a little bit of a kink. I'm going to call it kink here. You could see a fade where there was the Honda sticker, but it's in really very nice shape. And I think it was a $30 item. I think that was a $30 item, so I got that reasonable. And last but not least, and this is going to be part of a project video. You guys remember I picked this up, and I'm really thrilled about my, you know, SDG China pit bike here. And I told you guys it's got first and second. The Kickstarter doesn't work. It appears to have some troubles in the case there. So I had been mentioning I like the bike. It's a blast to ride. I've been, you know, enjoying the heck out of it. And once again, back to eBay. They have a Lifan kit so that you can replace the motor. That has a 107 cc's. It's called the 110 cc motor on it. This is the Lifan 125 cc motor. And the motor comes as a kit. It comes with the carburetor, that's the bolts to put the carburetor on the manifold. That's the shift lever. That's the manifold for the carburetor. And there's the Kickstarter. It also has the CDI, the wire harness, and the coil for the ignition. So it's literally a complete kit to put on that. This was up for auction, and I followed it right to the end, and nobody else bid on it. So it was $39.95 delivered to the house for a brand new Lifan engine for this thing. Call it $240. So for $240 plus the original $225 that I bought it for, which takes me up to, what is that, $465. I'll have this bike with a brand new motor on it. He also the guy I got it from had just put the front tire on it, right? You can see the little, I think you guys could see the nubbies there. And the back tire, really, it's just beyond the nubby stage, but it's in really nice shape. The body's in nice shape. So basically, for the cost of $465, I'm going to have more or less a brand new bike with a spare. Right, the shifter is fine, the Kickstarter is fine, the CDI is fine, the carburetor is fine. You know, all that stuff is good. So all that's going to be spare. And actually, I can theoretically break into the motor and figure out what's going on with it. Probably what I'll do is just kind of throw it on the shelf for now, and you know, make a decision whether I'm going to use it as a 2-speed motor. The real pain in the neck is not the 2-speed, because for the amount of space I have as I beat about, the you know, first and seconds really, you know, I might hit third for a matter of 10 seconds, then I got to downshift again, because I really don't have that much runway around here as I'm beating about between the sheds and the Hoard and the garden and the puddles in the front lawn and the drainage ditch in the front lawn, and even beating around the trail. Even when I'm you know, flying around that, there's just I run out of space. You know, I either run into a turn or run into a tree or run into you know, a drainage ditch or something. So I got to slow down to get around it. So really, first and second's fine. It's the push starting that's a pain in the neck. So anyway, I'm basically going to have 465 into a bike that they seem to sell them all over the place, used with the standard engine on them. They seem to sell them for between 450 and 500. Once again, with the standard engine, with the Lifan upgrade, she's probably worth closer to 6. So, not that I'm ever going to sell it, but I'm not into it financially too bad. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a series of videos when I put the engine in this thing, because I gave a sniff around YouTube, and I didn't see anybody do that, and there's probably all kinds of characters out there wondering what they're getting into, because I guess these bikes in other parts of the country, and I seem to see folks mention them quite a bit overseas, so I think these are pretty common out there. Not necessarily in my area, though I did buy this one and I didn't strain too hard to find it. But I think there's a lot of these out there. And once again, I didn't see anybody on YouTube who went through the trouble of doing a swap. And I'm sure there's plenty of people curious that, well, if I buy the Lifan engine, does it just go right on, or do I have to drill holes, or do I get to the point where it's 3/4 on and the shifter's in the wrong place, which means though it's on there and it works, you know, it's not really rideable, you know. So anyway, that's probably going to be a series of videos. Last thing, and this is getting to be 12 minutes, so I gotta kick it up a notch. What am I doing this week? Today is a big Memorial Day flea market at that airport near me, but given the weather, obviously I did not go. It's also tomorrow, and I'm debating whether or not I want to go. I kind of got short arms and deep pockets, if you guys know what that means. I'm running a little light on funding. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if I missed it this week. There really is not another grinder I need, or ratchet, or project, or tool, or anything like that I need. What I really need to do is get my ass out of bed early tomorrow and get back to working on this lift, get the bottom reinforced, get it straightened around, get the loose pieces of metal out of the way, so that project's done. I really need to get the fenders on that thing. I really need to get the one that's outside. I need to get that case broken open and change the clutch on it if that's why it won't move, right? I need to swap the engine and make those videos. Need to put a set of front forks and wheels and everything else this thing needs if I'm going to make that back together again. By the way, I didn't realize that Miss June was actually this 200M. The 200M that I got from Stony, upstate there. So she is actually Miss June, and Miss June came with a rack, remember? So that's June. That's July. July has no rack, and so we have left is August, September, October, November, December. And theoretically, I can count that electric scooter thing as August, if So I've decided to cut down to just 12 bikes this year. I'm drowning in what I have, so I'm trying to cut down to 12. And for the 12 that joined me this year, I'm trying to fix them as they come in, make them right, and do good things with them right up front, rather than have them join the Hoard as dead. I'd like them to join the Hoard as alive and well. So that's what I'm working toward. I also have to, my son wants a couple of bikes in York when that house steel finally closes. So probably one of the ones I have remaining to get will be a bike for him. There's a couple of 200Ss that I'd really like to get him a 200S, because that's kind of the bike that launched this entire mess all those years back. Wow, a lot of years back, like 30 years ago, a 200S launched things. Well, not quite 30, 28 years ago, launched this entire mess. So I'd like to get him one of those. I'm not ready to part with the original 200S, so no, I'm not giving it to him. So that, I'd like to get him that. And he's also, you guys might have noticed, there's a little Yamaha 100, Badger, Moto 4 100, whatever they call the little Yamaha. That was his kid bike. He and his brother got that for Christmas one year. So he's kind of wanting that to go to York, Pennsylvania also, so that his fiance has something to ride and he has something to ride, so that they can scoot about the property together. So anyway, we'll see. And getting that little Badger out of there gets a Yamaha out of the fleet, and it also makes some space in the shed. But his brother is half owner of it, so that's kind of where I'm scratching my head a little bit, you know. Right, they got it, it's Christmas. They got it together for Christmas, so I'm not sure how to play that one yet. All right, folks, live, love, and have a great time. Remember to keep your tires down and your handlebars up. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Hoard. In the meantime, always, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and thanks for subscribing. Bye now.